Welcome to Toffee TV. We are live. It is 5:36. I apologise for the lateness of the hour. We have been recording videos. In fact, Baz is literally bringing in the coffees as we speak. So apologies for the lateness. I'm sure people have been waiting all this time. I mean, you can see Baz's arm in the shot.
Oh, sorry.
As we speak.
Apologies.
There you go. He's bringing in the coffee. You know, he's doing what he needs to do. It's fair enough. That's fair enough. Where's the Let's get into the comments already. I imagine there's a lot of people already in the comments. To be fair, I think this is like the first time this week we've been late. But as I said, there's already 22 comments, which is incredible.
Okay, I'm here.
He's in shock. Gary Ward started the proceedings around 37 minutes ago.
That's right,
with
guys.
Hardy. Paul Cattle then said, "Evening lads, Silver's press conference was piss poor and sounded like a pushover. Only good things come out of it was his defence of Richarlison. He should have had a go at the referees' performances of VAR. Take a fine and move on." Mane saying he dives as well. Why don't these journals write a damaging story about him like they have for Richarlison? Must win at the weekend. I'd like to see us go with 3 centre-backs and play Sigurdsson, Davis and Iwobi in the middle of the park and get 2 up front. What are your thoughts, Baz? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on his press conference?
I thought he was very good with the Richarlison thing. I thought he was poor with the VAR stuff. I would have liked him to have moaned a bit about VAR, but he didn't. Sorry, I'm just looking. Just plug that in for us when it's on charge. Yeah, I thought the Richarlison thing, I thought he was quite good. He was a little bit... He seemed like he had a little bit of a cob on, which was good, because I don't think there's enough of that from him. But I don't buy into the whole, we respect this and we respect that. We know that you respect it, but today he was asked a good leading question, to which he could have then give a good leading answer to. He could have just gone, you're right, this, that and the other, because it was it Vinny?
Yeah.
Vinny gave him 2 opportunities.
He did.
He was like, well,
he pressed them on it.
He did, and he was like, well, what about this? But what about that then that's happened? And instead of going, that's a really difficult one. I know the Son thing, people will have different views on, and he might not want to say, we would have appealed, or it's a disgrace that Spurs appealed. And I understand how he dealt with that. It's a difficult one to deal with. But the one about the decisions, just saying, yeah, I say this to them in private, not about Everton. I'd have just said, we've been ripped the last few weeks and it's been disgraceful. And he should have put pressure on Paul Tierney for Saturday, really.
Yeah.
He should have put massive pressure on the referee. And maybe it's just his character. And maybe it's just the way that they're brought up. Maybe we're brought up differently in this country, or certainly as Scousers, to want to be vindicated, and we want justice. We have a sense of justice in this city, and I don't feel like Everton are getting justice at the moment, and that's probably why we're so angry. But maybe he just deals with that differently. I've seen Paddy Boylan saying he comes across like not, away from the cameras, but that's not great if that was his message to send out today to the world. And I think someone should have advised him, to us as fans as well, someone should have advised him a little bit in terms of maybe he needs to. But then who knows what message he's getting from the club? The club might be, no, listen, we stay above all that. We're dignified and all that. So, I don't know.
Steve Kelly says, good evening, Emery style. Hope you both you lads are well. Podcast first class as usual. I would love Everton to go back to basics this weekend and get a hard-fought, dogged win.
Yeah.
What did both of you think of the presser today? I thought in parts was okay, but also in parts it was weak. I've done that for you, Steve.
Yeah.
Simon Rouse says, evening all. Steve Kelly also says, I personally think he will bring Gylfi the Ghost in this weekend, who's the best player you've seen. Who is the best player you've ever seen live? Mine was Brazilian Ronaldo.
Yeah, R9. Oh, because there has been some fantastic performances I've seen, but seeing Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo live was amazing, but other players as well who have been fantastic players. Roberto Carlos, some of them passes he did at that night at Goodison with Brazil v Japan, they're incredible. And tough on that, because there's been loads of great players, haven't there, we've seen.
I've been very lucky, like personally, I've been very lucky.
You've seen a few, haven't you?
Seen Romario. Do you remember at that game? Romario played, yeah. Romario, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos. Seen Roberto Carlos play. I was very lucky to go and see the Galacticos, like the Real Madrid Galacticos at their peak. So I've seen Zidane, Roberto Carlos, Figo, Beckham was playing. It was ridiculous. So obviously been very lucky. And then last year went to see Brazil at Anfield in a working capacity. Seen Neymar up close. So seen some really good play. Watched France a couple of years ago play in Amsterdam as well, and they had the likes of Griezmann playing and Paul Pogba, and bit before Mbappe got involved. Went to see Barcelona.
You've seen Stecklenburg,
Ronaldinho. I watched him play in that. Messi, Iniesta, Xavi were playing. So even seen Zlatan at Goodison. More recently, he's like one of my favourite players. And then going back to like, if you think about the late night, we've seen Ronaldo, the other Ronaldo playing, and some of those Man United players, and been very fortunate to see some
Paul Scholes,
top players play footy.
Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
One of those natural footballers you'll ever see.
Gaza,
Steven Gerrard.
Kane says he's had an effing grueler of a day there, but can't wait for Sati to get back on the Pilsner, baby. Gonna sit down and watch some videos after this. My head is battered from work. You know what the good news is, Kane? This guy's joining you on the coach.
He knows I bombed it.
Well,
He knows I'm clever.
what? He knows you. No.
Been to Southampton before. It's a grueler.
Simon says, saw a little emotion from Silva today with the Charlton. It's not a diver speech. Be nice if you had the same passion to criticise VAR decisions we've had. At least it's a start.
I thought that was my take on it, but I understand fully. I come in, I was watching it on my way in. I had to go take my car somewhere first, and I was on my way in. I was watching it.
Wasn't Lisa, was it?
No.
Okay.
And I come in and I'm coming in, listening to it, thinking, you know what, a bit better this. I come in and Ped was like spineless, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, mate.
No, I did like his.
You don't like him, fair play.
I did like his Richarlison comments, but I thought he could.
But then he backed away. Then it riled him, so he should have then gone bang for the kill.
Just need to
and he
finish
didn't.
move.
He just went, he backed off. He banked off. He backed off.
Lisa, yeah.
Lisa. He backed off when he shouldn't have done. He should have gone. He should have been blazing, to be honest. Blazing squad.
Kane says, what's happened with the Silva press conference? That he feels sorry for him, but that's it. We're shit houses. I don't know. As I said, he could have. Vinny kept on. Vinny was literally setting him up.
Yeah,
setting them up.
Vinny gave him the chance today to put a few home truths out to people, he apart from the Richarlison thing, which I thought he dealt with quite well, because he'd done the two sides to it. He said he does need to stay on his feet, and we're working on that, and it's the Premier League. And then he went, but he's absolutely not a diver, and he gets kicked and blah, blah, blah. So he was right with that, but the VAR stuff was all we respect, and he did say we haven't had the right decisions, but then he went, but it's not about Everton, and it should have been, it's all about Everton. Yeah. That's what he should have done. But
Adam Galloway says, was disappointed with Silva's press conference, apart from Richarlison. Everyone else was the same shit. Everything else was the same shit.
Yeah.
Steve Kelly says, Ped, about to start watching all the DC and Marvels on my Fire Stick. Where should I start first?
We've got to start with the first
one. The films. Are you watching the films, Steve? If you're watching the films, Steve, go in order. Take DC, right? Put it in a box and throw it outside, right? Forget about them. It's only Marvel we care about. Yeah. What did you think of the Joker as well? You went to see the Joker. You didn't tell me what you thought. Steve also says, also one for you, Baz, been watching a lot of Serie A this season. Do you think Zapata for Atlanta could cut it in the Premier League?
Looks like he's got all the attributes for it. I don't know. Serie A is really, I think it's a really tough one to call at the moment, Serie A, because there's players who you look at and go, we should be able to smash it here.
Yeah.
Haven't quite done it. But Rom's doing well over there, isn't he? Now, is Rom doing well over there because it's not as quick as here? But Rom, let's be honest, Rom done it here as well, so that's a bit of a different thing. But Zapata, yeah, looks like, you know what, Steve, there's not many who I've seen who I would say look like they could do it here, but he looks like one who potentially could cope with the physicality here. And that, just back onto the Silva press conference today, that's exactly what Marco Silva was saying, the physicality of it here. And me and Ped were talking before about, in the footy show, talking about Eden Hazard, you were telling me about it, and one of the things was, did he need to be bulkier here than he does in other countries because of that? So that would be only one little thing over Zapata. I like Kessie, stay at Milan. But could he do it here? Is he quick enough to get around a pitch here? But he looks like a top player.
Anthony Davis says, lads, now we know that the FA Premier League are corrupt. Can you please explain why we are the chosen club who they have the agenda against? Is it because we should be the threat to the Sky Six? No, because look at Leicester. Leicester are a threat to the top six, and yet they're getting all the VAR decisions.
But I think it is that they see us, because a lot of people see us as the threat to we're not playing like it, and we're not there this season. And Leicester, the real bar will be where Leicester finish, yeah, and how Leicester are treated next season.
I think it's because we're soft.
And I think they'll be punished. But I think as well there is that.
Because we're soft, because we don't react to it, because we are above it all, because we don't get involved in it, because the manager doesn't come out and have a go at it, because the owner doesn't come out and have a go at it, the chairman doesn't come out of it. There's an open letter that's been sent from the fans forum, and yet it hasn't been signed by the club, or the club have not shown anything.
No, they have put the name on the end of it, I think. But as Anthony said there, though, I think that is one of the reasons, because of the money we've spent, and because people are perceiving us as the ambition to get into that top four and break that top six up. I do think we're treated harshly, but I do think if we had, whether it's the manager or, I mean, it has to come from the manager really, if we had someone who they knew was going to cause a stink about it every week, if we had Mourinho, right?
Not strong enough.
If we had Jose Mourinho, for argument's sake, they would be very cautious with the way they treated us, because they know that he would highlight it. And if Jose Mourinho says something, it goes around Europe. So it's highlighted everywhere.
And also,
there's
a double meaning to it as well.
Of course.
When he says it.
Of course. And the product then, the spotlight's on the product. If Marco Silva says it, it'll just get buried somewhere. And to be honest, Marco doesn't say it enough anyway. It's all about the respect. And it's like I said, maybe it's just the way he's been brought up, which is fine, but it doesn't really do us any favours. It doesn't benefit us.
David Collins says his presser was terrible as usual. Bit of passion for Richie, no problem, but where is it for the other players, club and the fans? It pissed me off watching training and their smiles, despite the shite we've had to watch so far, and then being 17th. I want to believe we have a good squad that will get going soon, but I also want to believe in Superman and Santa.
Well, you should believe in Santa. Superman, don't know.
Although,
and the other thing about
what happened with Santa?
Listen, the other thing with that, though, and I'm sure you'll back me up on this, the bits that are put out at the first 15 minutes of training, when they're all smiling and all that, and they're told to be like that, aren't they? But the other thing is as well, would you want them to go in every day, like moping about? Or do you want them to go in and, sorry, that bit of it bugging me. You want them to go in and have a bit of a laugh with the mates, but know that it's business on Saturday? I don't think, to be honest, I understand what you're saying, but I don't really take any notice of the training stuff, because I think you're going to see them. I want to see them like that, because it tells me that they're happy in terms of where they are, in terms of the working environment, not the way we're playing. And I understand that. But I think people sometimes read a little bit too much into those pictures or those videos. I mean, you might have a different view, I don't know.
No, I don't really pay any attention to them, to be honest. I don't really pay any attention to anything Everton do like that. I don't, because I just think I know what it's for, and it'll never send a clear message out, because when they turn up on the pitch on a Saturday, there's not a clear message, so it really doesn't matter. And
we know that
yeah.
the serious stuff gets done behind closed doors anyway.
Matt Gibson says, "Hi lads, moaning Matt here, African Sunset. Not watching until later, but thought I'd take a break from watching Silva sacked this second to ask, do you think we've turned into Charity FC, typified by our captain reacting on Sunday like it was a Everton in the community event as opposed to a Premier League game where we needed to scrap and fight and show no mercy. Cheers, boys."
Well, what I'd say is the captain on the pitch acted like the captain on the pitch. Kicked off at Aurier, kicked off at the referee, which is Luca Dean, kicked off a couple of other people, and then he went round our players while Gomez was getting treated, telling them to get, you could see him going to each one, going, get your mind back on this game. And he obviously, he had the assist as well. Yeah. He was carried on. So I don't think Luca played particularly well by his standards. But at that moment when we needed our captain, he acted like a captain. Seamus Coleman thing, listen, the people will view it differently. Some people are angry he done it. I'm angry with you. I hadn't thought of this, and you said it, and I don't know whether you thought it yourself or someone had said it or whatever, but it was absolutely right. No problem with him going in to see Son, but do it after the press conference. Do it away from the media. Yeah. And then if Tottenham put that in the press the next day or the day after, so be it. But hearing it on the night when we were all raw just made a lot of us. Some Evertonians were made up with it, loved it, classy. Fine.
Some Evertonians have also never seen us win anything, by the way.
No, but that's fine.
No, but that's where it comes from, though.
Yeah. Well, I know that Les, who's a good mate of ours, Les Roberts, have put the thing of Reed doing Marwood and saying that's how you react.
We don't come from that school.
No.
We don't come from that school.
No.
Some people don't react like us, and that's fine, and there's reasons for that. Some people want us to be classy. Some people want us to be above it all. They look at it and go, well, if you're going to be shite, you might as well be shite and classy. But what they don't understand is, sometimes to get to those levels, without harking back, this team, you're probably better person, you're a good person to ask. But in 1983, 1984, we had a young team that lost games, didn't really have anywhere it was going. We all know the Coventry game and the cushions and all that kind of thing, right? Now, do you see similarities in this team right now? No, I'm asking you right now.
But don't forget, I'm going back as a kid, so in my mind, watching it as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old is different to how I view it now. But I don't see what I saw of that team, which I suppose was one of the biggest things, was the way it turned into such an incredible team. Didn't look like it was gonna, but what it did have was it had the ability to battle and scrap.
What I was going to say is, it might have been before the Coventry game. So we brought in Peter Reid and Andy Gray, senior men who got hold of the squad, and Gray got hold of Graham Sharp and said to him, "You're a lovely footballer, lad, but you're not. You're a shithouse. You need to start doing what I'm doing." Peter Reid started going around the pitch and protecting other players. So when Adrian Heath done Marwood done Adrian Heath, the year after, Adrian Heath, Peter Reid done Marwood. Now, I'm not saying you get away with that now, but what I'm saying is, we brought in a couple of players who, obviously on the pitch and on the training pitch and in the dressing room, led, absolutely were led. And we've sat in a room with Peter Reid, and we've sat in a room with Andy Gray. And I noticed, well, number one, first thing I noticed is how they come across and how they get hold of
to get hold of the conversation.
Now, I watched Sharp, and I've been in a room with Sharp loads of times, and quite frankly, I don't really like Graham Sharp. There's no secret to that. I think when I've been in his presence, he's acted in a certain way that I didn't like. But as soon as Gray was in a room with him, he became a different person. He started opening it up. And Gray's boss, Gray will have a conversation with everybody. He'll have a conversation with everybody. And you know what? He
lights the room up.
He lights the room. And you know what? You might leave your side for 2 minutes and that's it. He's gone. He's gone somewhere else. He's doing something else. He might completely forget about you. But when you're in his company, doesn't ignore you. And that's what I found about Sharp when Gray was there. Sharp started being a little bit like that. It was rubbing off on him at the time, because maybe Sharp was like, well, I don't have to be the person in the room now. He's the person, I can react to him. And I've heard Sharp and Gray say, and Peter Reid say things that can't repeat, even in the circle of trust. I can't repeat because I'd be breaking their trust. But you can imagine the whole squad responding to that and going, look at these two. These two are driving us forward. And
yeah, we were sat there like little kids.
Oh, I was, yeah.
Just like,
and I don't,
wide-eyed.
and I'm never like that. I don't get about anyone like
but
that.
They were fantastic.
But they were just like, you could listen to them all day. And it was a privilege. I felt like it was a privilege being in that company and just sitting there and being part of listening to these stories. And they weren't necessarily telling us. They were telling each other. Remember when we did that? Remember when, we didn't see Van der Nau for 4 days. And they weren't telling us. But they were happy enough for us to sit there as even us strangers.
You're talking about David Johnson when he played for Everton in training and not being very good and this, that and the other, weren't they? Just great stuff.
Yeah, we were like, fucking hell. So
but that was how they did it.
And then I look at our captain, and when I hear stuff like that, I just laugh my head off. That's a me, and I'm not asked what anyone says. That's not my Everton. That's not the Everton I grew up with. Even when they were shit, that wasn't the Everton team I grew up with. Even when we were...
Well, yeah.
Well, let me just say one more thing. So when Joe Royle came in, right, he took this spineless Everton team, absolutely spineless under Mike Walker. His team, that had only just stayed up the season before, had a horrendous start to the season. He got older and we had 2 weeks to assess them. Now, they had a reserve game at Anfield that I think we won 4-0. We had this, and he played Joe Parkey in it, who was brilliant, and he played a couple of other players. Now, when it came to that Monday night against Liverpool on Sky, Liverpool were top of the league, we were bottom of the league, or near about.
No, we were bottom.
And, this is in...
We had 8 points.
This is November the 20th. Yeah.
We had 8 points.
Yeah. November the 20th. This is it. And we went on and won the cup final. And what he did was, he inserted John Ebrell, Joe Parkey and Barry Horn into that midfield. And he said, you just go and smash this shit out of them. That's all I want you to do. And you get this crowd up. And he knew he had Duncan up front. And he said, you get into these and you let them know.
Well, yeah.
Game. And that just brought these players to life. Whereas Mike Walker had probably been going, no, don't do that. Don't tackle, don't do this. And suddenly the atmosphere was completely different. And as fans, this is why people love Duncan Ferguson. And some people will go, Duncan Ferguson was shit. And his record was terrible. And you go, yeah, but when it meant something, he'd stand up as a fan.
Well, Joe Royle played him the Monday night. He'd been arrested for drink driving the night before.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd play now? No. Wouldn't have a chance of playing. The club would be like, hang on, keep him on the low. Now, do you think Duncan Ferguson, as our skipper, with the armband on, would have walked into Tottenham's dressing room after the game to console son? No,
we would have punched him on the pitch.
He'd have punched the lights out
on the pitch. Now, I'm not saying that's acceptable,
no.
Although I wouldn't be asked if he'd done it. Let's be honest.
But what we're saying is...
Duncan would have walked out. There's something about Duncan it makes me laugh about the Sun stuff. When Duncan got out of prison, we got a tartan band on the pitch for we're talking about Spurs glorifying Sun.
Yeah. No, well, listen, you're always going to be hypocritical because that's the nature of football.
Well, he didn't get banned when he played for us.
That's the nature of football fans. But what I'm saying is, and I'm not condoning that someone should have gone and smashed some, but I would have. But what I'm saying is, we've both played football. So if that would have happened in any game we played, and I'm talking about it, semi-pro and stuff that I was playing at, people, you just wouldn't have got off the pitch without an altercation. If you'd have done that, you wouldn't have got off. There would have been murder on the pitch because people don't accept. It's not acceptable to run after someone, jump in, and then they break their leg. You've caused it. You mightn't even make the challenge. You've caused it. So, listen, football's changed. And Andy, the Piv, when he does the podcast with us, he's a bit younger than us, a few years younger than us, and he's like, well, football's not really like that now.
It's not like that.
And he's right.
That's the point.
But that isn't the point. So, like you say, I had no issue with Coleman going in, but do it away from everybody.
What's the number one thing at Goodison Park when it's quiet that gets the crowd up?
A good tackle. Or the referee. Or bad referee.
Or a bad referee.
It's an injustice. Really.
It's an injustice or someone showing
Phil Neville. The Phil Neville tackle, which is nonsense, and we're still talking about it 10 years later, or whatever it was a tackle on Ronaldo at a time when Everton was struggling. We went 1-0 down to Man U in that game. We were struggling for something to get our season going. And he goes and puts a double tackle in on Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo when he's on the floor, wins the ball,
and then there's a fight.
Gets up in his brother's face, in his best mate's face, who he was there. Yeah. That galvanised the team. We draw 1-1 with Man United. And we went on from there, and everyone goes the Neville tackle.
It was an example to follow.
Exactly, and everyone was like, well, hang on, if he's doing that to his mates, because we all knew he was a mank, and no problem with Phil Neville being a man. He's been there from a kid. Yeah. He's a mank. Fair play to the kid. And my only issue with him was when he started saying top 10's good for Everton and all that, just shite that. But he set the example there, and everybody followed it. And we had people like Tim Cahill who latched onto that. Well, Tim was doing it anyway, but that just reinvigorated Cahill to start doing. When you see the derby with Alonso, when Cahill held Alonso down and gave him a dig.
When you're senior players, though, that's what we're talking about. Your senior players have to show your other players what it's all about. And for me, the club captain walking into the dressing room, and I know what I don't get when people go, yeah, but Coleman has had his leg broke. Yes, he's had his leg
he hasn't broken
by
someone
a shithouse tackle from some Welsh tit, right? He didn't break anyone else's leg, and I understand last week at Burnley when he walked over to the lad and was like, you know, comforting him to make sure he was all right. And I think that's the point where the manager should have took him off, because he was obviously unsettled by it. But he didn't break someone else's leg. He doesn't know how it feels to break someone else's leg. So why is he comforting somebody when really what he should be is not saying he should be in other people in his face.
Yeah, but we've seen him do that when Knockaert done thingy last year or the year, and he nearly knocked them out. No, last year, wasn't it? Yeah. And he's kicked off for other people. Blackburn caused murder in that pre-season friendly last year because of that late tackle. And yet when there's a challenge and an injury to someone, he's going in. It was a bit mad. But listen, that's done now, and we have to move on as a club. Andre's at the off his home and all that. We have to move on, but I think just us as a club, we need to galvanise ourselves because the manager...
Well, we're waiting for that spark, aren't we, from someone?
Yeah, there's been no one.
We want it from our manager.
Can I ask you this? Do you think, in hindsight, we should have given Jackson another 12 months? Because I don't know whether...
I think the difficult...
Baines, to me, looks like he's just killing time.
I think the problem is... And I think...
Or is it not Jackson? Is it just we haven't got that player who's been here long enough who can get in that mixer in the middle of the park? And that's, I mean, I had a sense of...
I think we should have just bought better.
Yeah, that might be.
Delph was supposed to be that as well, and he's not going to play Saturday, no.
No, was he fuck?
But we don't have enough players. We don't have enough leaders, and that's the problem. We know that. We all know that. But if you don't have a leader off the pitch, are there? No, you know, listen, you can say what you want about the manager today, and you can say what he said about Richarlison was great. But all he's doing is defending one player in that. Whereas if he'd said something about the VAR, he's defending the whole club. And that's what his job is for me. And that's why I'm a little bit disappointed with his press conference today, is that he had a chance to stand up for Everton as a club. And I couldn't care less. Listen, if someone had told me at the club and said, listen, we're bigger than that, for me, I would have gone, hang on, I might be managing in 2 weeks. What do I care? I'm standing up and I'm defending these players. These players, as far as I'm concerned, are still with me. So I'm going to defend them and say, we're getting wronged every week. I'm going to stand up. I'm not going to go...
He said...
He mumbled some shit.
No, but he said we've had bad injuries, we've been unlucky, we've had decisions go against us as well. And it does feel like things are always going against us this season, one of those seasons. He did say that. It's just that he doesn't say it with passion, so it gets lost. Like you just said, he mumbled it. I heard him saying it, and I thought, fucking hell, good on you. But if he'd have said it with emotion, or if he'd have said, you know what, he could have said, he could have sat forward, no, instead of this, right? And now that someone might have told him that he used to sit like that and he has unlocked his arm, so fair play. But if he'd have gone, hang on a sec, this VAR, everything's been against us so far, like we used to do in our press conferences. Everything's been against us so far. We've had bad injuries. I've lost me 2 midfielders. We've had really bad injuries. We've had no decisions for us. Penalty decisions that everyone's seen. Because he said referees spoke to me and told me afterwards that penalty shouldn't have been given and blah. How's this happening? He could have been like this.
I know, but that was the difference though, Baz. He did do that when he was somewhat with Richarlison. He did get angry. He did get animated. It was very, very clear
it was,
that what he wanted to say. used that press conference as an opportunity. He already had the words. You can tell by what he said.
Course,
I've done it myself. You rehearse what you're going to say. Do for, you know...
Well, I wish someone would have
when we're
told
doing
them
videos,
about
if I know what I need to do a video and I need to do it in a certain time, there's certain words I will rehearse to make sure they stick in my head so I can get out what I want to say. And he said the words. What he said was, he tried to be very clever. He basically tried to say that... And he should have said it. If I'd been in his position, I would have just said, man, I got booked last week for diving, but Richarlison's never been booked in this country.
But he was good the way he said it.
But he was good the way he said it.
That's what Mourinho would have said.
I'm not criticising what he said. I'm criticising the fact that he didn't take that tone on VAR.
Yeah.
And he could have said, first of all, he didn't even have to be asked the question. He could have gone, he could have got Vinny to say, Vinny could have gone, what's your thoughts on Richarlison? Richarlison is not a diver. We told him to be stronger because it's more physical in the Premier League, but he's never been booked. He's never been booked. Other people are getting booked. I seen a Premier League striker get booked last week. He could, and he was, but when he did say it was, and then when he comes to VAR, he could have done exactly the same thing. He could have gone, last week we should have had 2 nailed on penalties. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows we should have had penalties, 2 penalties. He could have said, a player doesn't get booked and then ends up contributing, because when he said, what do you think about, when he said, what do you think about Son not having his red card rescinded, right? No, I would have said, that should have been his second yellow.
Yeah.
And they could have gone, what do you mean? He meant, why wasn't Son booked for diving? Because if it wasn't a penalty, it has to be a dive.
Yeah.
And this is the point. Why not just go? Or this man is on his arse. This, all right, from a fan point of view,
yeah.
This man's on his arse, right? So we're getting messages now and people are going, great what he said about Richarlison, but in general it was a shit show. No. Imagine we came out today and we were all like, fucking silver at last. Love a bit of passion.
But he's not going to, is
he?
Then, he's not going to.
Then he ain't going to get people like me on his side,
I know, but I'm saying to you, he's not going to, because quite clearly, he's not that person, is he? He's a calm manager. He's collected and all of that. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong.
So why don't you just put it on them? We can all act.
No, I don't.
We can all act.
Because he's obviously not like that, mate.
So
he might not have anybody at Everton going, you need to go out here and fight.
Was he calm when he was talking about Richarlison? Or did he get...
No, he got a bit more...
But did he get right to the point?
He did get right to the point.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't he get right to the point?
He might have been ready to say that from Monday, mightn't he? When he seen that thing. No, but what I'm saying to you is, say Alan Myers was still at Everton and he was the press officer, right? Alan Myers is very in touch with Everton fans, right? Now, we know Scott and we know Andy at Everton, and they're nice enough and blah, blah, blah. But Alan Myers might have said to him, you need to come out today and defend this and defend this, because the feeling from the fans are, we're not doing it as a football club and they want you to do it. Right now, we could take that information and go, oh, okay. Now, Richarlison is obviously very close to him and he feels like he needs to defend him, and he did, because otherwise, if he wouldn't have said anything, I said to you the other day, I hope Everton are briefing him beforehand and saying, ask someone to ask him that question. Vinny did it brilliantly and he dealt with it brilliantly. But the same should have been said about VAR, and that's worrying to me that our press team aren't conveying to him how we're feeling as a fan base. We feel aggrieved. It was there. There was a letter. You know, whether the fans forum are used to it.
Vinny gave him loads of chances to get angry today. He gave him loads of chances. Vinny was like, as a fan, Vinny even said it on Twitter. He said, as far as I'm concerned, I don't understand why the Son. Vinny was there as a fan, I think, on Sunday, and he basically said in a tweet, I don't understand why this red card's been rescinded. I was there, I seen it, and he was conveying that to the manager and basically going, yeah, but I've got to push it on that. What about this letter and what about that? And he could have gone, you know what? The lads, it should have been a second yellow card. We shouldn't be having this debate. It should have been a second yellow card.
But I don't even...
But that's the problem, isn't it?
I don't even with that, I kind of just go, whatever. But the penalty thing, for me, is the issue. It's the red card, it's done, as far as I'm concerned. It's the penalty decisions that we aren't getting that piss me off more than the something, to be honest. And the fact that he let that go and generalised it, that was a frustration for me.
I'm just looking for a little bit of leadership.
I just don't think you're
at the
going to
club.
get what
Well,
you want from him, mate. No matter even if he won
But then
10
you know what,
games
Baz,
under him.
right? He ain't gonna win people over, regardless of whether he's at the club or not. He isn't gonna win people over.
Okay, but I'm just saying to you.
I'm saying this as someone who is trying to get. This is what I'm saying. I'm sitting here as a media. If I was a media person, as in I advise him, I would advise him to start getting that, like you've just said, to get that message over, to convince people,
That we're all in
the
it,
average fan, that we're all in this together, that he has got a little bit of anger in him, and that's what I'm saying.
And I agree, but I'm just saying to you, maybe the club needs to help him better with that as well, and say, actually, the feeling from the fans is, we're not all together.
I don't think you need social media to understand that Everton it needs something more though at the moment. Gary Ward says, just finished the podcast video first rate again, thank you. Derek Hulton says, watch both the Silva interview and the press conference this afternoon. Appalled at how flat Silva made me feel. There you go, how he made him feel. I think that's important.
I know.
No, I'm not having a go at you. Even when he was talking about Andre returning to Finch Farm after his op, I now understand why our players never seem inspired. He even said that the dressing room was flat. What does that say to our supporters at all? He has to go and quick. Sorry. There you go.
Don't apologise, Derek. You've been supporting.
That's 89-year-old Derek Hulton there.
Yeah, Derek's been supporting Everton for 50 years or whatever it is. So, 53 years. I mean, according to Everton Instagram, it's 83 years or something. But you're entitled to apologise.
David Collins says, and I think this is the most important point, Stephen Kelly, you have to start Marvel with Iron Man, or the story trail and timeline throws you all over the place. You have to watch the films in order. It doesn't matter, like, about the time, about the. Some people say you should watch as the timeline. No, you shouldn't. You should watch in order. It's important. Films follow on from each other, as Baz well knows.
Definitely.
I don't know. Listen, watch AOB.
I mean, some films follow on.
Watch AOB and you'll see a side of Baz you'll never have thought you've.
Shut up.
Honestly.
Behave.
I can't even say it on here, the things that he professed to. He likes listening to A Certain Man at Christmas. I'm not saying it's AOB, just dropping it in there. I'm not going to leave. They've got to go and watch AOB.
A song.
I heard back catalogue when you were talking about this guy.
Listen, Harvey Weinstein. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. He says, DC, I'd go Dark Knight, Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, then Justice League. Only problem is that Christian Bale is far better Batman than Ben Affleck. I mean, correct. Stephen Kelly says, C. Wenger has pulled out of the race for the Bayern job. Well, there goes the footy show.
Has he though?
We did an hour-long special.
Well, hang on, has he? Because I've seen something about an hour and a half ago and he hadn't pulled. I just said he hadn't spoken to him.
That was an hour.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Lewis Melia says, "Hi lads, do you think if Marco Silva was to be sacked, then Richarlison would end up throwing the strap, especially because how highly he speaks of Marco?"
Yes, 100%. But so what? That's at the end of the day. Marco Silva, if he gets sacked by Everton, will probably end up back in Portugal, because I think he'd be done in England for now. So he'll end up in Portugal. Is Richarlison going to go to Benfica, Porto or Sporting Lisbon? No. So it's irrelevant. And he can't keep following him, can he? So
Steve Kelly says, I think they will leave Flick in charge until the end of the season. Flick? Who's Flick?
Out of Bug's Life.
Give us the reference. Simon Rouse says, Steve Kelly, I wouldn't bother with DC apart from Wonder Woman, the rest are poo in comparison to Marvel. You have to watch both, start with DC or you'll only be disappointed. Just don't watch DC, it's crap, honestly. There you go. Baz is just loving the conversation.
I've got no issue. People want to talk about that. Far be it from me to it.
Let's see.
Why is that 3% and it's on full power?
I don't know. Long as it's
no, it's
charging.
On.
Might be because there's a red light, I don't know.
No, it's fine. It just goes jumping. It just goes off if it's kind of thing.
Richie Rawlins says, even boys think I'm the same as everyone else in being surprised at how placid he seemed. The Richarlison thing was a little too late. Driving back up north tomorrow. Looking forward to listening to the Toffee TV podcast and the Nerd Social Club podcast. There's a lad on the way home.
Top man.
Adam Galloway says, would you get Arteta at the end of the season if you could? Yes, I would. Baz, would you?
Don't know. It's the reality.
Steve Kelly says, like the look of the new Apple TV show, See with the guy out of GOT. Oh, yeah, it's about a planet that's everyone's blind on it.
Depressing.
I can't see it being good myself. So no. See what I did there.
You've seen like 3 of that, haven't you?
Steve Kelly says, Joker was great, mate. Thanks, film of the year for me so far. Woo! Baz can't wait to see it. He's like chomping at the back.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, it's got a certain song on it.
It's just behind the season review for Liverpool.
Season review of Everton?
No. Season review of Liverpool.
Yeah, Marvel film steak. Jump on them. Be all over them. Cumbrian Toffee says, bear with. But with the amount of fixtures in December and the lack of defensive mids available, thoughts on Baines playing alongside Tom Davis? Just feel he will be able to protect the back four and play more direct when in possession instead of passing sideways. Would also allow Davis to be more direct. Must stress a short-term solution, but Baines is more than capable. I suppose it's...
Second person who's... Well, Mike, who was in the other week, one of our patrons, had messaged me about Baines playing defensive mid Saturday.
I suppose it all comes down to how many players we've got left. I mean, at the moment, we've got Sneijder and Tom Davis.
You rarely put a left-back in midfield rather than
what I'm saying
Benny
is,
Beningame.
That's what I'm saying, how many players we've got left.
I know what you're saying, Mark. And listen, Baines is a cracking footballer. And he wouldn't have to get up and down, would he? Because he could just be... He's fit enough to get around the midfield area. It's whether or not he can do it. Didn't he play there against Newcastle away?
Newcastle, yeah, we got beat 3-2.
Yeah, he wasn't great, was he?
Adam Galloway says Prime Dean or Prime Baines.
Prime Baines still.
Yeah, still haven't seen.
I love Luca Dean. I think he's fantastic.
Stephen Kelly says...
But need to see more of him.
Favourite DiCaprio film?
The Beach is good.
Oh, The Beach.
Catch Me If You Can.
I love Catch Me If You Can.
Cracker.
Always watch it at Christmas.
Wasn't he in Thingy? Oh no, he wasn't. I thought he was. I was going to say that's Matt Damon.
I like all of his films.
Yeah, he's a cracking actor. Wolf of Wall Street, brilliant in that.
Yeah.
Titanic, he's good in that.
Have you seen the one where? Oh, what's it called?
Inception.
This Inception. What an incredible film.
He's good in the other one as well with the
Departed.
The Departed.
Have you seen the one where
he's a cracking actor?
Seen the one where he gets battered by a bear?
What's it called?
Oh, what's it called?
I don't know. It's
called This Something. Basically, he's a pelter in the...
Isn't he in Blood Diamond as well?
Yeah, I've never seen that. So basically, he's a pelter and he gets attacked by a bear.
He's a pelter, and different from the rest.
And he gets... He's on tonight. And he gets left for dead. And he has to make his way back to... And it's very bit grisly.
Bear with.
Mark...
I couldn't bear that.
Mark Zerbel said...
Mark's boss, mate.
What kind of education background do you guys have and how did it relate to the past and current jobs? I'm going to get a master's degree in sports management in the States and would love to someday be involved in Everton's communications department. First thing I'd do is try and implement a lot of things you guys were talking about on yesterday's Live at 5 regarding social media, education, etc. Mark, I have zero education. Zero education. I have no achievements of any kind apart from 50-meter crawl. I have none. I have absolutely none. I'm a self-made man. I'm a self-educated man. Thanks to YouTube and the Discovery Channel and a bit of National Geographic thrown in. I've achieved all this through hard work, determination, and brains.
And me.
No, I've got nothing. Honestly, I've got nothing. I have blagged my way into everything I've ever done. Everything I've ever done, I've blagged my way into it. And I'm quite proud of that. Quite proud of that. I am. I don't give a monkeys.
There you go.
I've got a better job than most people with degrees. I have.
Literally not me, and I've got a degree, but there you go.
I said most. Yeah. And your degree
I've got
isn't pigeon fiddling.
I've got what, O levels, A levels, degree, but my degree's in PE and geography. So I was considering being a PE teacher for a while.
Good if you're running up hills.
No, what's really good for is you can always find a gym. You can run and locate the gym. I was considering being a PE teacher for a while, but then didn't fancy it. Well, to be honest, I started working at Everton when I was still at uni, which was the biggest mistake, because you fall into a job and when you're used to getting paid, when you like get to the end of it.
Yeah.
So, but I did do journalism as part of my PE degree, so like a module in journalism, because I'd looked at that for a while, but I couldn't really be arsed with it. Then I worked at Everton, then I worked in social work for 12 years, and we're here. But this is by far the best job I've ever had in my life.
Essentially, you're like Marty McFly, and I'm like Doc Brown. That's what we're saying. Although,
I mean,
he clearly,
I'm not sure, but yeah.
I mean, clearly he must have got a degree or two, because he was Doc Brown.
Sure, yeah.
He wasn't just Brown.
Yeah, he honestly just bought it off
He
type person. But that's it, yeah. So basically, what we're doing now bears no resemblance to
But Mark, what I would say is yes. But what, Mark, how old are you, Mark? Because I don't know. You know what I would say for someone who wanted to do stuff like that? You've got to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, and this is experience that I found by doing stuff is people who just get like degrees and decide. I always remember Steve Hoddlesall saying about, I remember early on I was trying to get onto radio when I was doing my podcast, and I always remember listening to something. It was like a video he'd done at like a university, and in the video he said, if you start university and you've got a 3-year degree and you don't get in touch with me on day one, then don't get in touch with me on year 3. That's what he's basically saying. And you've got to jump in straight away. It's like these people who go, I want to do this thing, and aren't doing the thing. They expect someone to just give them a job. Like, nowadays, you've got to have. People will go, well, what have you been doing for the last 10 years? They'll go, I've done nothing. They'll go, well, hang on, so you haven't got a podcast, or you haven't got a YouTube channel, or you haven't helped with this, or you haven't helped with that.
And
like
Billy, got a website.
Billy comes in, right? Sometimes I just sit there thinking, what benefit are we to him? Not what benefit is he to us, because he's got loads of benefit for us. But sometimes I think, what's the benefit of us to him? But then I think to myself, well, he's doing like a degree from like it's like one of these football degrees. And actually what he wants to do has no relevance to what he is doing for us. But he's soaking up everything when he's in here. And he's listening to us. You know, I'd probably stop doing that.
That's an education in itself.
But he's soaking up everything. And that's all you can do, I think, in anything you do, is just soak up what's going on. I think they're probably the best people end up getting, you know, if it comes for a job at the end of the day, and you've got experience because you've soaked it up, or you've done something, you know how things work, then you're going to get the job, aren't you?
At the end of the day, Mark, what he's trying to say is keep doing more videos for us, like you player of the month. Anything you can benefit us.
Do you know what? I wasn't actually saying that.
But that does help.
What I was going to actually say was, get in touch with like Everton now, right? Get in touch with them now, or get and say, right, you've got this Everton in the USA Twitter account.
Let me help.
Can I help with it? Is there anything I can do to help with it? And they'll probably go, what? Because that's what they normally do.
But your name will be in there.
But if you're saying, right, I can do this for you, you could do it with us. If you said to me, right, I put in the Everton USA Facebook thing in the summer page. I was looking to do USA. Would anyone be interested in watching Toffee TV Everton USA videos? And a lot of people are like, oh, we'd love that. And then the big problem with that is it's time, isn't it? It's not only like, even I do the podcast with Aaron, the Nerds one. And even that's difficult, and he's on the East Coast. Now imagine doing a podcast or a video, and you've got people on the East Coast and on the West Coast. For me, that'd be very difficult. So if you were to say to me, Ped, I would love to do a Toffee TV Everton USA video where I'll present it and I'll package it all together and we'll put it out, and you set the agenda because you're American and it's for Everton Americans, and we stick it out, and you can that could be something where we could help you do something, but you'd be doing it all, so that'd be great for me. And you're probably thinking, but what's the point? But that's what you have to do, essentially. So if you want to do, if anyone wants to do it, Mark Cumbrian Toffee wants to do stuff as well, and
Any, I know Steve Kelly wants to do stuff, so we're always here for ideas.
We're not a charity. Let's not go mad.
We're here for any ideas and anything you want.
We're not Everton.
So talk to us. Come on.
Steve Kelly says, what is your favourite Christmas film, lads? Also, just realised this is our first Boxing Day game at home since Martinez's first season, where we got beat by Sunderland.
Then we had Stoke at home as well, didn't we, under Martinez on Boxing Day, and Bojan scored a
couple of days later.
We didn't lose both home games, did we?
No, not of that one. I mean, a couple of days.
No, you think like the 4-3 one? That was over Christmas. The Stoke 1-0. I mean.
Okay. Favourite Christmas film.
Favourite Christmas film. Elf or Miracle on 40. What's it called? 54th Street.
Miracle on
42nd
Street.
42nd Street.
Original remake.
Original. Natalie Wood.
That girl is so annoying.
Classic.
I want a little brother.
Oh yeah.
I want a little brother.
But the film classic.
I don't know. Elf's Boss, of course.
I love loads of Christmas films.
I like
Santa Claus the movie, classic. The Santa Claus classic.
Gremlins is an amazing Christmas film. Die Hard, of course. There's loads, isn't there? Can't beat Gremlins though, can you?
Scrooged, amazing.
Scrooged is amazing.
Scrooged.
Scrooged is amazing. Bill Murray.
I love Scrooge with Alistair Sim. Fantastic film. Absolutely
I need to
fantastic.
get the colour sorted on it. Scrooge doesn't matter. I love Scrooge.
Okay.
There's loads. I walk out and go, oh, I should have mentioned that. There's loads. I like Love Actually. I don't care what people say about that film.
It's all right.
I don't want a lot for Christmas. Seen the advert, the crisp advert with there, isn't it?
Yeah. Couple of things trying to get out, aren't they?
There's more just a salt and vinegar going on there. Steve Kelly also continues, says, Baz, do you think a lot more fans have gone Mark out this week after his lack of leadership?
No idea, Steve, to be honest.
Derek Hulton says, I'm 60 but feel like 83. Where did the 89, but where did the 89 come from? It was on Everton community page. It said the proudest thing about the Everton run was 89-year-old Derek Hulton finishing, which I thought was hilarious. Stephen Kelly says, only just been released about Wenger. Bayern rejected him.
Bayern rejected him. Okay, fair enough.
Keith Powell says, been disappointed with Silva's press comments ever since he'd been there. Alex Wiley says, Baines playing DM occurred to me as well a few days ago. Maybe it's just an option. Good player, perhaps a bit wasted at the moment, particularly in the current midfield crisis. Steve Kelly says, The Reverend, that is that Bear film. Gary Ward says, it's a wonderful life. And Steve Kelly says, agree with what Ped about picking stuff up when you're in the studio. Every time I've come in, it's always come back with a different outlook on things related to Everton. There you go. Everton, baby.
There you go, baby. And I'm going in a minute, baby.
Well, you got to do the news.
No, you're doing it. I've got to pick, take me lad to the game, to his game. I've got to get home, get him, and get back.
There you go. Right. Happy days. Let's wrap up. Thank you, as ever, for joining us on this voyage of
Madness
stuff. There you have it. We'll be back live on Monday.
Baby.
Will we be back live on Monday?
Don't know.
I don't know.
We need to decide what we're doing.
I don't know where we will be because we're going to the gala premiere of Howard's Way. So I don't know whether we'll be live on Monday. We need to. I don't think we will be because we're going to have to do that blue carpet.
I'll let you know.
All right. We'll let you know.
But
yeah.
There's a good reason if we're not.
But it's not like we're just having a day off.
And we'll have some content from it, so you'll be able to watch that, baby.
There you go. Thanks for
watching.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Go on, I'll